It's a wonderful feeling. I really took on a pretty big challenge trying to do my speech in French.
How dramatically different Jim Carrey looks. What do we think is going on? Jim Carrey has not been out in the public eye all that much recently, but he did make an appearance in Paris, and a lot of people are talking about how different his face looks.
A very, very popular topic in many different news and articles.
What if every strange moment from Jim Carrey is not random at all? From clone theories to mind control, secret symbols to breaking the matrix, what if all of it is connected? The clone conspiracy.
Now, I did take a look at the photos and some videos, and I do think Jim Carrey looks different. I also want to comment, like I always do, that there could be other things besides plastic surgery at work, or a combination of lifestyle changes and plastic surgery.
The wildest rumor about Jim Carrey has to be the claim that someone replaced him. A clone, a body double, or maybe just a person in a shockingly good mask. This idea caught fire right after he showed up at a big awards event in France. People started sharing clips of his face online, and things got really weird from there.
Some fans claim he even sounds a little different, and Botox and fillers don't normally change your voice, do they?
No, I mean, I loved the fact that you referenced raised eyebrows, because clearly that's something he's incapable of doing at the moment.
At first, nobody batted an eye. Jim did everything you would expect. Gave speeches, did interviews, joked around with the crowd. Everything seemed pretty normal until people started watching those videos online. Suddenly, the spotlight was on his face, not what he said. People pointed out how smooth his skin looked. His expression seemed a little stiff. It was not the Jim Carrey they remembered. Now, you would think people would chalk it up to aging or maybe a bit of cosmetic work. No. Instead, the internet latched onto a more dramatic story that was not really Jim Carrey. Some thought it was a look-alike, while others pushed it further. Maybe someone in a prosthetic mask.
There's an individual named Alexis Stone who came out and said that he was the fake Jim Carrey that everyone saw, and it's now being posted all over the internet.
Things really took off when Alexis Stone, a master of celebrity transformations, weighed in. Instead of putting the rumors to rest, some hints online just made people dig in deeper. Suddenly, everyone wanted to believe it was all part of some wild stunt. It did not take long for so-called evidence to pop up. People started passing around pictures of what they called the Jim Carrey mask. No one had real proof, no behind-the-scenes shots, no leaked videos, nothing, but plenty still believed it. Truth is, there was nothing strange about the event besides Jim looking a bit different. He moved the way he always does, cracked jokes, used that unmistakable voice, and gave the same off-the-cuff energy he is famous for. Organizers and even experts confirmed it was really him. There was not a shred of credible evidence to say otherwise. What really threw people was what they call the uncanny effect. When someone known for wild facial expressions suddenly looks smoother or less animated, usually thanks to aging and maybe a little work done, it just does not feel right. Different does not mean fake. MK-Ultra connection.
We are exhausted. We don't know what is up, what is down, what is real, what is not. But Jim Carrey being cloned? I don't know if I'm buying it.
When people bring up the darker side of fame, talk often lands here. There is an old suspicion floating around that Hollywood does not just make movies. It is tied to something much deeper and maybe darker. Especially once the talk gets tangled up with MK-Ultra. People say that program did not just disappear. Instead, it slipped into the background, dug in, and wrapped itself around the real levers of power and culture.
And others believe that it could possibly be this guy, Alexis Stone, who came out as Jim Carrey, and nothing ever happened to the real Jim Carrey, but Alexis Stone just fooled the world.
That is where Jim Carrey enters the picture. He is not just known for his wild faces or offbeat humor anymore. People watch his strange interviews or his sudden changes in attitude and think, something happened to this guy. They analyze his every word, hunting for clues, like he is dropping hints about some hidden fight going on beneath the surface. But there is another way people spin this theory. Some do not see him as a victim at all. They think maybe he is in on it, or at least he sees what is happening. So when Carrey talks about identity being an illusion, some people do not treat it as philosophy. They think he is talking about a world where even your sense of self gets engineered from the outside. And maybe, just maybe, he is trying to show us the trick without giving the whole magic show away. The spiritual awakening. When Jim Carrey stepped away from the Hollywood spotlight, something shifted. He did not just get quieter, he changed. Suddenly, the way he talked was not about cracking jokes or putting on a show. Instead, he was exploring big questions: consciousness, ego, what is real and what is not. One of the wildest things he said? That Jim Carrey is not even real, just an identity, a role. That kind of honesty surprised people. Sure, people have talked about this idea for a long time, but coming from him, it felt almost eerie. Fans watched, unsure if they were seeing a star let go of everything that made him. Well, him. Pretty soon, this idea of breaking the matrix spread online. People wondered if Carrey had seen behind the curtain, beyond the illusion. It felt bigger than his own journey, like he had stepped outside the whole system, fame, identity, maybe even society itself. Why did so many people connect with his words? It is the way he spoke. It did not sound scripted. He came across as raw, sometimes struggling to put it all into words. That kind of honesty makes people feel like there is some hidden truth he is trying to share. But really, what he has been saying is not new. Philosophers and spiritual teachers have explored ego and identity for ages. The difference is, when that message comes from someone as famous as Carrey, it stops being just theory. Suddenly, everyone starts looking for a deeper meaning behind it. The anti-vaccine controversy. Out of all the rumors surrounding Jim Carrey, this anti-vaccine controversy stands out because it actually happened. When he was dating Jenny McCarthy, he joined her in vaccine debates, speaking up and sharing his doubts publicly. That moment changed how people saw him. Suddenly, he was not just a comedian or actor, he became a talking point for groups who usually did not pay much attention to Hollywood. The thing with vaccine debates is, they often connect to larger questions about trust in institutions. Once someone steps into that space, people begin linking them to broader theories, whether they intended it or not. It grew from there. Just by being involved in one controversial topic, people started associating Carrey with all kinds of anti-establishment beliefs, even if he never spoke about them. Fans and critics took his philosophical ideas and reshaped them, making it seem like he was part of something bigger. Here is the reality. Once someone enters that space, their words take on a life of their own. It stops being about what they actually said and becomes about how others interpret it. In Carrey's case, the line between fact and speculation became blurred, and he ended up in conversations much larger than anything he intended. The Illuminati conspiracy. Honestly, conspiracy theories about the Illuminati never seem to go away. Somehow, Jim Carrey keeps getting pulled into them. It is not because he said something specific or did anything unusual. It is more that people take pieces of his life, his art, his behavior, and his public appearances. His paintings are a big part of this. Carrey's art is bold, unusual, sometimes almost cartoon-like, and filled with heavy symbolism. Most people see it as creative expression, maybe even a reflection of his emotions. But others interpret it differently. They treat his work like it contains hidden messages, as if it is communicating something deeper. Then there is the way he handles interviews, the way he speaks, his pauses, how he changes direction mid-sentence. People analyze all of it. Some believe these moments are signals, subtle hints for those paying close attention. Still, if you look closely, there is no solid evidence. Nothing directly connects him to any secret group. Most of what people call evidence is simply interpretation, reading meaning into things that may not have any hidden intent. That is how these theories survive. They do not rely on facts. They grow through curiosity and imagination, turning ordinary moments into supposed clues. It is not surprising these ideas stick to him. Jim Carrey occupies a unique position, extremely famous, highly expressive, deeply philosophical, and unpredictable. That combination naturally draws attention and speculation. He does not communicate in simple terms. Instead, he uses metaphors, abstract ideas, and layered thoughts. He leaves things open-ended. And online, people try to connect those dots. Suddenly, every pause seems intentional. Every joke feels like it carries a deeper meaning. Even his body language becomes evidence for theories. Jim Carrey's political controversy. Jim Carrey is not just a comedian or actor, he is someone who openly shares his political views. And people notice. Over the years, he has delivered some of the most direct and unfiltered commentary online. And it has not always been quiet. These are not just humorous sketches, they are sharp critiques that focus on corruption, hypocrisy, and power. Some people appreciate them. Others strongly disagree. Each post sparks intense reactions, with supporters praising him and critics saying he has gone too far. But Carrey does not stop with art. He speaks openly, addressing policies, social issues, and leadership. And when someone with that level of fame says something bold, it spreads quickly. Every statement gets analyzed, every pause examined, and even a simple interview clip can go viral as supposed proof of something bigger. Are we uncovering something hidden, or just trying to understand someone who no longer fits the version we remember? Because the truth is, Jim Carrey did not disappear. He changed. And sometimes, that is enough for people to turn change into conspiracy. But now it is up to you. Is this all just overthinking and internet noise? Or do you believe something deeper is going on?